The repair fleet arrived exactly when promised. Dozens of ships appeared in the sky above Colony Vega 7, their hulls gleaming with the colors of Earth. Engineers and doctors and builders flooded into the damaged colony, working day and night to restore power and repair shields and heal the wounded. Within a week, the colony was stronger than before, but the real changes were happening far beyond Vega-7. News of the battle spread across the galaxy at the speed of light. Every species, every empire, every civilization heard the story of what had happened. A single Earthship had appeared from nowhere and destroyed an entire Vorn fleet in minutes. Not one human life had been lost. The Vorn Empire was in chaos. For centuries, they had believed themselves to be the strongest force in the galaxy. They had conquered without mercy, destroyed without fear. Now, for the first time, they knew what it felt like to be prey. Emergency meetings were held in the Vorn capital. Leaders who had once spoken of wiping out humanity now whispered fearfully about the shadow ship that could appear anywhere at any time. "We must attack Earth itself," one general argued. "Destroy the source of these weapons before they destroy us." "Are you insane?" Another shouted back. "If they have one ship that can defeat 12 of ours, how many more do they have? What if they have 100? 1,000? We would be walking into our own graves." The debates went on for days. In the end, the Vorn made a decision that shocked everyone, including themselves. They sent an ambassador to Earth to discuss peace. It was the first time in Vorn history that they had ever asked for peace instead of demanding surrender. The ambassador traveled alone, carrying messages from the Vorn Emperor himself. He was terrified the entire journey, expecting the shadow ship to appear and destroy him at any moment, but nothing happened. He arrived at Earth safely and was greeted with kindness and hospitality. The humans did not mock him or threaten him. They simply listened to his words and responded calmly. Peace was achieved within a month. The Vorn agreed to release all their human prisoners. They agreed to stop attacking human colonies. They agreed to pay compensation for the damage they had caused. In exchange, humanity promised not to hunt them down. Other species watched this development with amazement. For generations, they had seen the Vorn as unstoppable monsters. Now those same monsters were bowing to a species that had seemed weak and harmless. Just weeks before questions filled the galactic networks. What else was Earth hiding? How long had they possessed such terrible power? Why had they pretended to be peaceful farmers when they had weapons that could destroy empires? Yuna was invited to Earth to answer some of these questions. She traveled on a passenger ship, sitting among normal people going home to visit their families. No one treated her differently, even though she had become famous throughout human space. When she arrived on Earth, she was taken to a small building in a quiet valley surrounded by mountains. Inside, she met a woman named Yejin, who seemed to be in charge of something very important. "You have questions," Yejin said with a gentle smile. "Everyone does. Where did the ships come from?" Yuna asked immediately. "Why did Earth keep them secret? What else are you hiding?" Yejin laughed softly. "So many questions. Let me try to explain." She led Yuna to a window overlooking the valley. In the distance, a river flowed through green fields dotted with small villages. "Do you see this land?" Yejin said. "It looks peaceful, does it not? Simple farmers living simple lives. This is what humanity chose to be when we went to the stars. Builders, explorers, dreamers. But you were also building weapons." "We were building protection," Yejin corrected. "There is a difference. We never wanted to conquer anyone. We never wanted to dominate the galaxy. We just wanted to make sure that our children, all of them, on every colony, in every corner of space, would be safe. Why keep it secret?" Yejin turned to face Yuna directly. "Because knowledge changes people. If every human knew about the guardian ships, they would start thinking of themselves as warriors. They would become aggressive. They would stop trying to make peace and start looking for fights. We did not want that. We wanted humanity to grow up gentle and kind. But now the secret is out, Una said. Yes, and that worries me. Yejin's smile faded slightly. The other species now know what we are capable of. Some will fear us. Some will try to destroy us before we become stronger. The next century will be difficult. Do you regret saving us? Saving Colony Vega 7? Yejin shook her head immediately. Never. Every human life is precious. Every child, every elder, every dreamer looking up at the stars, they are worth protecting. Even if saving them costs us our secret. Even if it makes the future harder. We will always answer when our children call. Una felt tears in her eyes again. She had cried so much since the attack, but these were different tears. These were tears of gratitude. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for coming for us. Yejin reached out and took her hand. We are family, Commander Una. All humans, no matter where they live, are family. And family never abandons family. Months later, Una returned to Colony Vega 7. The repairs were complete. The shields were stronger than ever. A new generation of children was being born. Children who would grow up knowing that Earth was watching over them. She often stood at the window of her office, looking up at the stars. Sometimes she thought she saw movement in the darkness, a shadow crossing the field of stars. Too fast to be sure it was real. Ji Kyung was out there, always watching, always waiting. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson that day. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not helpless. Humanity had simply chosen to be kind. But when kindness was met with cruelty, when peaceful builders were threatened by violent destroyers, Earth had an answer. Earth always had an answer. And the galaxy would never forget the day they asked Earth for help at the last second and saw the answer fall from the sky. In boardrooms and war councils across 1,000 worlds, leaders looked at their maps and marked human territory with a new symbol. Not a symbol of weakness, not a symbol of easy prey, a symbol of warning. Do not touch. Do not threaten. Do not make them call for help, because Earth will answer, and you will not like the answer. The news spread through the colony like wildfire. Within minutes, everyone knew that the enemy fleet had been destroyed. People poured out of the shelters, crying and laughing and hugging each other. Children ran through the corridors, not understanding what had happened, but feeling the joy around them. In the deepest shelter, old Doan smiled as he heard the cheering. The young boy who had asked him about Earth looked up with wide eyes. What happened, grandfather? Are we safe? Earth answered. Doan said simply, I told you. Earth always remembers. On the bridge, Una was still staring at the black ship floating outside the window. She had so many questions. Where had it been hiding? How had it crossed such vast distances so quickly? And most importantly, why had Earth kept this secret for so long? The cold voice spoke again. Commander Una, we have scanned your colony. Your shields are destroyed. Your power systems are failing. You have approximately 6 hours before life support becomes critical. Una's heart sank. They had survived the attack, but they might still die from the damage it had caused. We are aware of this, the voice continued. Do not fear. Help is already on the way. A repair fleet was launched from Earth 3 days ago, before you sent your distress call. They will arrive within 4 hours. Minho stepped forward, confusion on his face. Wait, you said 3 days ago. But we only called for help today. How did Earth know we would need rescue? We have been watching, the voice answered. We detected the Vorn fleet entering this sector 8 days ago. We calculated their likely targets. Colony Vega 7 was the most probable. The repair fleet was sent as a precaution. You knew this attack was coming, Una said slowly. You knew, and you did not warn us? If we had warned you, you would have evacuated. The Vorm would have seen empty buildings and moved on to another target. Another colony. More victims. We needed them to commit to this attack so we could destroy them completely. Una felt a flash of anger. You used us as bait. Yes, the voice admitted without shame. We used you as bait. And because of that, the Vorm 7th Fleet no longer exists. They will never threaten any human colony again. Was that not worth some hours of fear? Una wanted to argue, but she could not find the words. The ship was right. If the Vorn had attacked somewhere else, somewhere without warning, thousands might have died. By letting them attack here, where Earth's forces were ready, the threat had been eliminated permanently. It still feels wrong, she said quietly. It was wrong, the voice agreed. War is always wrong. But sometimes, wrong choices must be made to protect those we love. This is the burden we carry so that humanity can remain innocent. Hannah raised her hand nervously. Can I ask something? Yes. Why only one ship? If Earth has vessels like you, why not send a whole fleet? Why risk fighting alone? The voice was silent for a moment before answering. Because we are not many. We are few. Building ships like this takes centuries. Each one is created from the heart of a dying star, forged in fires that would destroy any normal metal. The process is slow and difficult. How many ships does Earth have? Minho asked. 12. The word hung in the air. 12 ships. Only 12 vessels to protect all of human civilization scattered across thousands of light years of space. That does not seem like enough, Una said. It has been enough so far, the voice replied. We are very good at what we do. And we have other resources. But those are not for you to know. Not yet. The black ship began to pull back slowly, moving away from the colony. Una felt a strange panic rise in her chest. Where are you going? Are you leaving? There are other calls, the voice said. Other colonies in danger. Other children of Earth who need protection. We cannot stay in one place for long. Will we ever see you again? If you are in danger, we will come. That is our promise. That is our purpose. The ship's engines began to glow with a soft blue light. But before it could leave, Una called out one more question. Wait! Please, I need to know. Does this ship have a name? The voice paused. When it spoke again, there was something different in its tone. Something almost warm. We have had many names over the centuries. The aliens call us the shadow that hunts, the silent death, the end of empires. But our builders gave us a simpler name. A name from an old Earth language. What name? They called us Ji-Kyong. It means guardian in a tongue that was old when humanity was young. We are Earth's guardian. We are the shield that stands in the darkness. We are the answer to every prayer for help that rises from the colonies. The blue light grew brighter. Remember this day, Commander Una. Remember what you saw. And when you tell your children and grandchildren about what happened here, tell them this. Earth has not forgotten you. Earth will never forget you. As long as a single human heart beats anywhere in this galaxy, we will be watching. We will be waiting. We will be ready. The ship vanished. One moment it was there, a massive shadow against the stars. The next moment, it was gone, as if it had never existed at all. Only the floating debris of the destroyed Vorn fleet remained to prove that the battle had really happened. Una stood at the window for a long time, staring at the empty space where the ship had been. Commander? Minho said softly. Are you all right? Una turned to face her crew. They were all looking at her with a mixture of exhaustion and wonder. They had just witnessed something that would change their lives forever. Something that would change the entire galaxy. "I am fine," she said. "I am more than fine. For the first time in my life, I understand what it truly means to be human." "What does it mean?" Hannah asked. Una smiled. "It means that no matter how far we travel from home, no matter how lost we become in the darkness, there is always someone watching over us. Someone who cares. Someone who will fight for us when we cannot fight for ourselves." She looked out at the stars one more time. "It means we are never truly alone. And somewhere far away, crossing the vast emptiness between stars at speeds that defied physics." Ji-kyung heard her words and carried them forward into the endless night. The Guardian was always listening. The Guardian never stopped. The darkness moved across the stars like a great shadow. At first, Una thought it might be an asteroid or some natural phenomenon. But then she saw the lights, dim at first and brighter, pulsing with a rhythm that seemed almost like a heartbeat. It was a ship, but it was unlike any ship she had ever seen before. It was massive, easily 3 times the size of the largest Vorn warship. Its surface was black, covered with strange patterns that seemed to shift and flow like living metal. Here and there, she could see scars and wounds, old damage from battles fought long ago, never fully repaired. This ship had seen war. Real war. The kind of war that left marks that never healed. "Where did that come from?" Minho whispered. "I did not see it approach. It just appeared." Hannah was staring at her instruments with confusion. "Commander, I cannot identify the ship. It is broadcasting no signal. No identification codes. Nothing. It is like it does not exist." "It exists," Una said quietly. "And it came from Earth." The Vorn fleet had noticed the newcomer too. The 12 warships that had been preparing to destroy the colony were now turning, their weapons redirecting toward this new threat. The Vorn commander's face appeared on the screen again. This time, there was something different in his black eyes. Something that might have been doubt. "What is this?" he demanded. "What ship is this? Identify yourself or be destroyed." For a long moment, nothing happened. The great black ship simply hung there in the void, silent and still. Then it spoke. The voice that came through the speakers was neither male nor female. It was cold and deep, like the sound of mountains grinding against each other over millions of years. It spoke in a language that Una did not recognize, yet somehow she understood every word. "We are the answer." That was all it said. The Vorn commander's face twisted with anger. "You dare threaten the Vorn Empire? We have conquered 100 worlds. We have destroyed civilizations older than your entire species. One ship cannot stand against us." "You are mistaken," the voice replied. "We have not come to stand against you." A pause. "We have come to end you." The black ship moved. Una had seen fast ships before. She had watched racing vessels shriek across the sky at speeds that turned them into blurs of light. But she had never seen anything move like this ship moved. One moment, it was far away. The next moment, it was among the Vorn fleet, tearing through their formation like a wolf through a flock of sheep. Its weapons were not like normal weapons. There were no beams of light, no missiles, no visible projectiles. Instead, wherever the black ship pointed, enemy vessels simply broke apart. Their metal hulls crumpled like paper. Their engines exploded in silent fireballs. Their crews had no time to scream. The first 3 Vorn ships were destroyed in less than 10 seconds. "Impossible!" The Vorn commander screamed. "All ships, concentrate fire on the enemy. Destroy it." The remaining 9 Vorn warships opened fire with everything they had. Energy beams of every color imaginable struck the black ship from all directions. Missiles exploded against its hull. For a moment, The vessel disappeared inside a ball of flame and light. When the fire cleared, the ship was undamaged. Its surface rippled slightly, absorbing the energy of the attacks like skin-absorbing raindrops. Then it continued its attack as if nothing had happened. On the bridge of Colony Vega 7, Yuna and her crew watched in stunned silence. Hannah had covered her mouth with both hands. Minho had forgotten to breathe. Even the alarms seemed quieter, as if the machines themselves were awed by what they were witnessing. "What is that thing?" someone whispered. Yuna shook her head slowly. She had no answer. She had lived her whole life believing that Earth was a peaceful backwater, a quiet planet that had chosen to stay out of galactic conflicts. She had never imagined that her home world was hiding something like this. The battle, if it could even be called a battle, continued for another 3 minutes. The black ship moved through the Vorn fleet like death itself, destroying everything it touched. The alien warships tried to run, but they could not escape. The black vessel was everywhere at once, appearing behind them whenever they turned, cutting off every path to safety. By the end, not a single Vorn ship remained. Where 12 massive warships had floated just minutes before, there was nothing but expanding clouds of debris and frozen bodies. The Vorn commander had been on the last ship to fall. His final transmission was a scream of pure terror, cut short by the sound of tearing metal. Then there was silence. The black ship turned slowly and began moving toward the colony. Yuna felt a chill run down her spine. This vessel had just destroyed an entire fleet without taking any damage. If it wanted to, it could wipe out the colony just as easily. "It is hailing us," Hannah said quietly. "Put it through," Yuna ordered. Her voice was steadier than she felt. The screen flickered. Instead of a face, it showed only darkness with faint points of light moving within it, like stars being born and dying in fast motion. "Colony Vega 7, the cold voice said. "Your distress call was received. Earth has responded. You are now under our protection. Who are you?" Yuna asked. "What are you?" "We are the ones who remember," the voice replied. "We are the ones who wait. We are Earth's answer to those who threaten her children." "I do not understand. Where did you come from? Why have we never heard of you?" "Because it was not time for you to know. Humanity chose peace. Humanity built and grew and spread across the stars without weapons, without violence. This was good. This was the path your people wanted." The voice paused. "But we always knew that peace would not last forever. We knew that one day enemies would come. Enemies who do not understand kindness. Enemies who see mercy as weakness. For that day, we prepared. How long have you been preparing?" Minho asked. "Since the beginning," the voice answered. "Since humanity first looked up at the stars and wondered what waited in the darkness. We have been building. We have been watching. We have been patient." Yuna felt tears running down her face. Why? Why would Earth do this in secret? Why not tell the colonies? Because knowledge of us would have changed you. You would have become warriors instead of builders. Conquerors instead of explorers. We did not want that. We wanted humanity to grow in peace. To become something beautiful. The ship moved closer, and for the first time, Yuna could see details on its surface. Names. Thousands of names. Etched into the metal in letters too small to read from a distance. "Those are the names of everyone who built this ship," the voice explained. "Everyone who gave their lives to protect humanity's future. They are our crew. They are our heart. They are why we fight." Yuna looked at the names and wept. Earth had not forgotten them. Earth had never forgotten. The minutes passed like hours. Yuna stood at the window, watching the Vorn ships circle the colony like wolves around wounded prey. They were taking their time now. They knew there was no escape, no rescue, no hope. They wanted the humans to suffer in fear, before they died in pain. Minho moved to stand beside her. His face was pale, but his eyes were dry now. He had accepted what was coming. They all had. "I sent my family to the deepest shelter," he said quietly. "My wife and my 2 daughters. They wanted to stay with me, but I made them go." "How old are your daughters?" Yuna asked. "Sujin is 7. Minji is 4. His voice cracked slightly. "Minji asked me why the bad aliens wanted to hurt us. I did not know what to tell her." Yuna felt her heart break a little more. She thought about all the children in the shelters below. 3,000 innocent lives that had barely begun. They would never grow up, never fall in love, never have children of their own, all because the universe was cruel and uncaring. "There must be something we can do," said Hana from her station. "Some weapon we have not used, some trick we have not tried." "We have tried everything," Yuna replied. "Our missiles are gone. Our energy weapons are drained. The only thing keeping us alive right now is a shield that could fail at any moment." The main screen flickered with static. For a brief second, Yuna thought it might be a response from Earth, but it was just interference from the Vorn ships. They were jamming communications now, cutting the colony off from the rest of humanity. "Even if someone wanted to help us," Minho said, "they could not reach us in time. We are alone." Alone. That word hung in the air like a curse. Down in the shelters, Jie held her baby close to her chest. The infant was crying, hungry and scared by the constant shaking of the ground. Jie tried to sing to him, the same song her mother had sung to her when she was small. But her voice was weak and trembling. Around her, hundreds of people sat in the dim light. Some were praying, some were crying, some just stared at the walls. With empty eyes, their minds already gone to some distant place where the pain could not reach them. An old man named Doan sat in the corner, his wrinkled hands folded in his lap. He was 93 years old, one of the few colonists who had actually been born on Earth. He remembered things that younger people only knew from stories. He remembered wars and disasters. He remembered times when humanity had been pushed to the edge of extinction. And he remembered something else. Something that made him smile even now, even in this dark hour. "Why are you smiling, grandfather?" asked a young boy sitting near him. "Are you not afraid?" Dahan looked at the child with gentle eyes. "I am very afraid," he admitted, "but I am also hopeful." "Hopeful? How can you be hopeful?" "The aliens are going to kill us all." "Perhaps," Doan said, "but I have lived a long time, child. I have seen many things that seemed impossible. I have seen humanity face enemies that should have destroyed us completely. And somehow, we always survived. But there is no one coming to save us," the boy protested. "The commander said so." Doan leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Let me tell you something about Earth. Something that most people have forgotten. Earth is not just a planet of farmers and builders. Once, long ago, Earth was something else entirely. Something that made the whole galaxy tremble." "What do you mean?" Before Doan could answer, the shelter shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. People screamed. The Vorn had started their attack. Back on the bridge, Yuna grabbed the railing as the colony was struck by a massive energy beam. Sparks flew from consoles. Lights flickered. An alarm that had been constant for hours suddenly went silent, its circuits destroyed. "Shields are down," someone shouted. "We are completely exposed." Yuna looked at the screen. The Vorn commander's face appeared again, his black eyes gleaming with cruel pleasure. "Your shield has fallen, human. Now you will feel the true power of the Vorn Empire. We will take your colony apart piece by piece. We will find every hiding hole, every shelter, every basement. And we will drag your people out screaming." "Why?" Yuna demanded. "Why do you do this? What have we ever done to you?" "You exist," the Vorn commander said simply. You spread across the stars like a disease. You build and grow and multiply. If we do not stop you now, one day you might become a threat to us. So we remove you, colony by colony, world by world, until nothing remains. You are monsters. We are survivors. The galaxy belongs to the strong. The weak are food for the strong. This is the only law that matters. The screen went dark again. Una turned to her crew. They were all looking at her with terror in their eyes. Without shields, the colony was completely defenseless. The Vorn could destroy them whenever they wanted. "It has been an honor," she said simply. The enemy ships began charging their weapons for the final assault. And then Hannah gasped, "Commander, I am receiving something." Una spun around. "What? From where?" "From Earth." Hannah's fingers flew across her console, her eyes wide with disbelief. "It is a response to our distress call. But that is impossible. It has only been 8 minutes. The signal should not have reached Earth yet, let alone returned. What does it say?" Hannah listened to her earpiece, her face growing pale. Then she looked up at Una with an expression of total shock. "It is just 2 words, Commander." "Over and over again. What words?" Hannah swallowed hard. "Help coming." Una felt her heart stop. That was impossible. Earth had no fleet, no ships fast enough to cross the distance in time, no weapons powerful enough to challenge the VORN unless there was something about Earth that the rest of the galaxy did not know, something that had been hidden, something that had been waiting. "Commander," Minho pointed at the window. "Look." Una turned and saw it. The stars were changing. No, not changing. Something was moving in front of them. A dark shape was crossing the field of stars at impossible speed, growing larger with each second. Something was coming. Something was falling from the sky. And for the first time in hours, Una felt something she had almost forgotten. Hope. The alarms had been screaming for 3 hours. Commander Una stood on the bridge of Colony Vega 7, her hands gripping the metal railing so hard her knuckles turned white. Through the massive window in front of her, she could see them. 12 alien warships hung in the black sky, like angry gods waiting to deliver judgment. The colony had been her home for 15 years. She had watched it grow from a small outpost of 200 people to a thriving settlement of 12,000 souls. Families lived here. Children played in the underground gardens. Old people told stories about Earth, a planet most of them had never seen. Now, all of it was about to end. "Commander." "Their weapons are charging again," said Minho. He was young, only 28 years old, but he had become her most trusted officer. His voice was calm, but Una could see the fear in his eyes. "Our shields are at 12%. One more hit, and they will fail completely." Una nodded slowly. She had known this moment would come. The Vorn Empire had been expanding through the galaxy for decades, swallowing smaller civilizations like a hungry beast. Colony Vega 7 was just another meal to them. "How many people are in the shelters?" she asked. "About 9,000, Minho replied. "The rest are manning essential systems or—" He paused. "Or they chose to stay in their homes." Una understood. Some people preferred to die in familiar places, surrounded by the things they loved. She could not blame them for that choice. The bridge was quiet except for the soft beeping of machines and the distant wail of alarms. 10 other officers worked at their stations, monitoring systems that were failing one by one. Hannah, the communications officer, sat at her console with tears running down her face. She was trying to reach any ship, any station, anyone who might help. But no one was coming. The nearest human colony was 8 days away at maximum speed. The closest military outpost was even further. When the Vorn fleet had appeared without warning, Una had immediately sent distress signals in every direction. That was 3 hours ago. She had received no response. "They are hailing us again," Hana said, wiping her eyes quickly. Put it through, Yuna commanded. The main screen flickered, and the face of the Vorn commander appeared. His skin was pale gray, almost like stone. His eyes were completely black with no whites at all. When he spoke, his voice was like rocks grinding together. Human Commander, this is your final warning. Surrender your colony and your people will be processed quickly. Resist, and we will make your deaths last for days. Yuna felt anger rise in her chest. Processed. That was their word for it. The Vorn did not kill their enemies quickly. They broke them down, piece by piece, until nothing remained but screaming meat. We will never surrender to you, she said firmly. Leave this system, or face the consequences. The Vorn commander made a sound that might have been laughter. Consequences? You have no fleet, no weapons, no hope. What consequences could you possibly threaten us with? Earth will respond, Yuna said. When they learn what happened here, they will come for you. Earth? The alien tilted his head, curious. That small planet on the edge of your territory? We have studied your kind. Earth has no great fleet, no powerful weapons. They are farmers and builders, not warriors. They will do nothing. The screen went dark. Yuna turned to look at her crew. They were all watching her, waiting for her to say something, to give them hope. But what could she possibly say? The alien was right. Earth had no military fleet. For 200 years, humanity had spread across the stars peacefully. They built colonies, traded with other species, and avoided conflict whenever possible. That strategy had worked well until now. Commander, Minho said softly. What do we do? Yuna closed her eyes. Her mind traveled back to Earth, to the small village in Korea where she had grown up. She remembered the mountains, the rivers, the way the cherry blossoms fell like pink snow in spring. She remembered her grandmother telling her stories about old wars, about times when humanity had faced impossible enemies and somehow survived. We have one option left, she said finally. She walked to Hana's station and placed a hand on the young woman's shoulder. Open a channel to Earth. Direct transmission. Emergency frequency. Hana looked up at her with confusion. Commander, even at maximum signal speed, it will take 11 minutes for our message to reach Earth, and 11 more minutes for any response to come back. That is 22 minutes total. The Vorn will destroy us long before then. I know, Yuna said. Do it anyway. Hana nodded and began working. Within seconds, she had established the channel. A small green light appeared on her console, indicating that the transmission was ready. Yuna leaned forward toward the microphone. She took a deep breath. What could she possibly say, and what might be humanity's last message from this corner of space? This is Commander Yuna of Colony Vega 7, she began. We are under attack by the Vorn Empire. 12 warships. Our defenses are failing. We have 12,000 civilians, including 3,000 children. We cannot hold out much longer. She paused, her voice breaking slightly. I know Earth has no fleet. I know you cannot save us. But I want you to know that we died as humans. We did not surrender. We did not beg. We faced our end with dignity. Tears were falling down her cheeks now, but her voice remained steady. If anyone hears this message, please remember us. Remember Colony Vega 7. Remember the people who lived and loved and dreamed under these alien stars. We were your children, Earth. We were your family. She reached for the switch to end the transmission, then stopped. One more thing needed to be said. And if there is anyone, anywhere who can help us, please. We are asking at the last second. We are begging. Send us anything. Send us anyone. We just want to live. She ended the transmission. The bridge was completely silent. Everyone was crying now, even Minho, who always tried to appear strong. Eunice stood straight and tall, looking out at the enemy fleet through the window. The Vorn ships began to move into attack formation. "All hands," she announced over the colony-wide speakers. "This is your commander. Prepare for impact. It has been an honor serving with all of you." She closed her eyes and waited for the end. And somewhere far away, on a small blue planet that most of the galaxy had forgotten, something woke up. Something old. Something that had been sleeping for a very long time. Earth had heard the message, and Earth remembered.